Good morning. Here is your global news report for April 1, 2026. The global news landscape is dominated by a dramatic escalation in the Middle East, triggered by attacks from the United States and Israel on Iran. The blockade of the Strait of Hormuz is driving up crude oil prices, creating widespread repercussions for the global economy. Concurrently, U.S. President Trump's assertive foreign policy and domestic political maneuvers are deepening international rifts. Furthermore, China's technological advancements and expanding geopolitical influence, set against a backdrop of U.S.-China tensions, are presenting new challenges for European and Asian security and economic strategies. Overall, the interplay between geopolitical conflicts and the domestic affairs of major powers is contributing to international instability. The attacks by the U.S. and Israel on Iran have dramatically heightened tensions in the Middle East. A series of escalating clashes in Lebanon, threats from Iran against U.S. companies and universities, and missile attacks on Gulf states have occurred. The blockade of the Strait of Hormuz has led to a surge in crude oil prices, severely impacting the global economy. This has resulted in accelerating inflation in Europe, shifts in the oil supply chain, a reassessment of energy procurement in Japan, and a deepening rift between the U.S. and Europe. U.S. President Trump's political activities are having a significant impact on international relations. In the Iran conflict, Trump's statements have been contradictory, urging Britain to go get your own oil while simultaneously suggesting peace talks with Iran. Domestically, issues such as birthright citizenship and voting rights laws are drawing attention. Europe is limiting its cooperation in the US-led war against Iran, and the soaring gasoline prices are affecting Trump's approval ratings, demonstrating the far-reaching nature of his influence. China is demonstrating its presence through technological innovations like the world's heaviest cargo drone, the Chang'e 8, alongside AI regulation risks, thereby expanding its economic and geopolitical influence. Tensions in U.S.-China relations are causing security concerns in Europe, prompting calls for Europe to learn to defend itself in case the U.S.-China ceasefire collapses. This also promotes the localization of AI semiconductors in Japan. In the Middle East, Chinese vessels have transited the Strait of Hormuz, and China has jointly proposed a peace plan with Pakistan, indicating an increasing international role. Next, here are the key stories from the United States. Amidst significant developments such as major food company mergers, progress in NASA's lunar exploration program, and Supreme Court hearings on birthright citizenship, the job market is expanding at its weakest pace in 15 years, with particularly challenging employment conditions for young people. Unilever, the parent company of Hellmann's, announced the spin-off of its food division and its merger with spice maker McCormick. Unilever brands are valued at approximately $45 billion, while McCormick is valued at around $21 billion. NASA is proceeding with plans to launch a rocket carrying 4 astronauts from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida to the Moon within days. If successful, this would mark the first crewed mission to the Moon since 1972. The U.S. Supreme Court is scheduled to begin hearing arguments on Wednesday regarding the legal theory to end automatic birthright citizenship, a policy championed by former President Donald Trump. This raises concerns among some parents that their children could become stateless. Next, here are the key stories from Europe. In the UK, the conflict between the government and the medical association over doctor strikes is intensifying, while the steel industry has expressed concerns about job losses due to new trade rules. Additionally, Russian oil tankers have arrived in Cuba, indicating a potential easing of U.S. fuel blockades. The Russian oil tanker Anatoly Kalitkin arrived on Cuba's north coast carrying an estimated 730,000 barrels of crude oil, marking the first crude oil shipment since early January. Reports suggest this signifies a near-complete lifting of the U.S. fuel blockade against Cuba. In the UK, Prime Minister Starmer has demanded that the British Medical Association, BMA, call off a 6-day doctors' strike scheduled after Easter within 48 hours. He warned that failure to do so would result in the loss of 1,000 additional training posts. UK steel industry executives have warned that a backdoor loophole in new trade rules allows for the continued duty-free import of processed steel components, such as bridge sections, columns, and door frames. This could severely impact British manufacturers, leading to job losses and factory closures. Next, here are the key stories from the Middle East. Military tensions between the United States and Iran have intensified, with Israel engaging in clashes with Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, marking a day of continued conflict and instability across the region. U.S. President Trump threatened widespread destruction of civilian infrastructure in Iran, including energy resources and desalination plants, if an agreement was not reached soon. In response, Iran attacked key water and power facilities in Kuwait and refineries in Israel. Israel continued its ground offensive in southern Lebanon, announcing the deaths of 4 soldiers in clashes with Hezbollah. 3 personnel from the United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon, UNIFIL, were also killed in this conflict. A ballistic missile launched from Iran penetrated Turkish airspace and was intercepted by NATO defense systems. This marks the 4th such incident since the US-Israel attacks on Iran began. Next, here are the key stories from Russia. Russia is facing infrastructure damage at major ports and a reduction in oil exports due to Ukrainian drone attacks. Domestically, the government is strengthening control through enhanced VPN regulations and designations of undesirable organizations. However, social issues such as an increase in crimes committed by military personnel and protests by farmers are also surfacing. Cooperation in information warfare with North Korea has also advanced. Drone attacks by Ukraine have damaged infrastructure at the port of Ust-Luga on the Baltic Sea in northwestern Russia, leading to a daily decrease of approximately 1.75 million barrels in Russia's maritime oil exports compared to the previous week. 3 people, including 2 children, sustained minor injuries in the Leningrad Oblast. The Russian government has announced its intention to crack down on VPN usage, as stated by the Minister of Digital Development. Simultaneously, it has designated Tufts University and its Fletcher School in the U.S., along with the Moscow Times, as undesirable organizations, indicating a move to strengthen internet surveillance and information control. Farmers from 5 regions in Russia gathered in Moscow to demand that President Putin halt the large-scale culling of over 90,000 livestock, as ordered by the authorities. The estimated losses for the farmers amount to 1.59 billion rubles, approximately $19.5 million. Next, here are the key stories from China. Movements related to technology and international shipping routes have garnered attention, including the maiden flight of the world's heaviest cargo drone and the passage of Chinese vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. The risk of regulatory action due to Apple's accidental disclosure of AI features and the mandate for transparency in funeral service pricing are also significant developments. China has successfully conducted the maiden flight of the Changjiang 8, described as the world's heaviest cargo drone with a payload capacity of 7 tons, suitable for both military and civilian use, at an airport in Zhengzhou, Henan Province. For the first time since the start of the Iran conflict, 2 Chinese container ships successfully transited the Strait of Hormuz, demonstrating a commitment to securing maritime trade routes. Apple inadvertently made a temporary public disclosure of its AI feature Apple Intelligence in mainland China, only to halt it shortly after. This has raised concerns about potential legal action from regulatory authorities due to incomplete security assessments and algorithm applications. Next, here are the key stories from Japan. The tightening of the Middle East situation is impacting oil supply security in the global economy, forcing Japanese companies to review resource procurement and business strategies. Domestically, while major M&A deals and technological developments are progressing, issues such as accounting fraud, deteriorating business performance, and problems in infrastructure development are also becoming apparent. U.S. President Trump demanded that countries take action themselves regarding the de facto blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, specifically criticizing Britain. The U.S. Secretary of Defense indicated that the next few days are critical for military operations against Iran, suggesting an expansion of attacks if a ceasefire is not achieved. Iran, in turn, declared it would target 18 U.S. companies, including Apple and Meta. In corporate news, Soaring Holdings is being taken private by US KKR for approximately 500 billion yen. Sony Group is selling 51% of its TV business and its Malaysian factory to China's TCL Group for a total of 75.4 billion yen. The joint venture will be named Bravia. KDDI subsidiary has incurred an impairment loss of nearly 65 billion yen due to fictitious transactions in its online advertising agency business. TGN announced a projected record net loss of 95 billion yen for the fiscal year ending March 2026 due to impairment losses in its pharmaceutical subsidiary. Conversely, Fujitsu has developed an advanced AI semiconductor entirely within Japan and plans to outsource its production to Rapidus. Next, here are the key stories from Asia and Oceania. India is facing a depreciating rupee and rising oil prices due to geopolitical instability in West Asia, while simultaneously advancing large-scale irrigation infrastructure projects. Meanwhile, in Australia, operational challenges are emerging with the legalized voluntary assisted dying (VAD) system. In India, macroeconomic stress is increasing due to geopolitical instability in West Asia, causing the rupee to fall to a record low of 95 rupees to the dollar, and crude oil prices to reach $156.29 per barrel. The Reserve Bank of India is intervening with foreign exchange reserves to curb fluctuations. In the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Konaseema district of India, irrigation projects worth a total of 30.3 crore rupees, approximately 5.4 billion yen, in the central and western Godavari deltas are set to commence by the end of April. Irrigation water supply will be suspended from April 15 for repairs to irrigation facilities. In Australia's New South Wales, as applications for voluntary assisted dying (VAD) surge, issues such as a shortage of doctors, obstruction by religious medical institutions, and a ban on telehealth are becoming apparent, preventing some terminally ill patients from accessing VAD. Next, here are the key stories from South America. While Argentina is contributing to NASA's lunar missions, demonstrating progress in space technology, ethical issues involving government officials have surfaced. In Chile, the new government is making significant changes to immigration policy, reflecting important domestic and international developments. Argentina's independently developed microsatellite Athenia has been selected to be carried on NASA's Artemis II lunar mission, making Argentina the sole Latin American participant. Argentinian government spokesperson Manuel Adorni is facing a credibility crisis amid allegations of purchasing a condominium worth approximately $230,000 that cannot be explained by his declared income. Chile's new government under José Antonio Cast has announced a policy of stricter immigration enforcement, freezing regularization measures for approximately 182,000 undocumented immigrants that were advanced by the previous administration. That concludes today's Global News Report. Have a great day. Thank you for watching.